In this video, I'm going to go over NVDA, Snow, and Beyond Meat and show you the price targets for Thursday. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is NVDA. My neighbor told me today that he bought a couple of shares, so I thought I would take a look at this, and he said he is down. And I can see why he's down just by looking at the chart. Now, we ended the day at $776.63, down 1.32%. The day's low, 771.25. The day's high, 789.33. This is where we ended. To the north side from where we are takes us to the middle of the trend, and that is 780.88. Above that, at 2 standard deviations and resistance, and a potential take profit area, 791, 795.95, and 801.15. To the south side, at -2 standard deviations and support, and a potential buy-in area, 771.10, 765.98, and 760.69. Now looking left, this is support. Note the bounce. And we didn't quite make it to this line, but close enough, and started to fall. A bounce here, up to here, resistance. And check this out. We made it all the way to resistance, and you know what happens at resistance. People take their profits and they run, they lock in, and they leave. And when we gapped up, this created a gap to the downside. So I know intuitively that if it closes, price is going to get to this level, 785.46 from where we were, which is 823.82. So if you play the gap, it helps you just kind of see where price could be headed. Obviously, the gaps could take a long time to close, but in this case, I always anticipate price to stay within -2 and 2, and if the gap falls within that, then that gap will naturally close out. Now, I've looked at this many times in the past, and look at this huge gap up, and what goes up must come down, and now it appears that we could be turning down. This gap will eventually get closed, but we are not in the zone, not in the channel just yet. Again, if you play within -2 and 2 and slowly grind our way down, then eventually 741 could hit, but right now we're not there. But if we hit this line, that is support, and the confirmation for support is the RSI. So I anticipate this to bounce, and if we wick down to here, this will bounce up. This gap, since I have not looked at this for a little while, is now done at 725.16. Delete. This is done. 719.16, done. This gap closed out, so I will erase that too. Can you imagine 693 riding it up to 823? Take your profits there. And so we have another gap as well that will take us down to 630.59. Again, not in the channel, not in the zone. Something to be aware of to the south side if you like to go short. This is a long-term thing to get to this level. And I believe 640 was an old price target. We are now, according to the analysts, going to hit 868.09, which is an 11% return from where we are. Here was the earnings. But as I told my neighbor, things will turn around. It could get ugly in the short term, but big picture, there's a lot of upside potential. The next one is going to be Snow. Thank you to Trader Murat for pointing this out. He says that Snow is down 23% on a great Q4. He also tipped me off to Palo Alto, down 23% as well, and then it ran like crazy after that. So fingers crossed, this also happens for Snow. The reported revenue, 774.699 million, and the estimate, 760.432 million. So the street loved it and it ran. That's a surprise of $14.267 million, 1.88%. Now we are at support, and we are support down here. It's still going straight down though, so we could go below 30 and then curve right back. If you look left, anytime that gets into the resistance area, it bounces, okay? So if you're thinking you're stuck in a losing trade over time, if it doesn't go out of business, obviously it will bounce if for the short term. All right, some price targets for you. To the north side, middle of the trend and resistance. And price always goes through the middle of the trend to get to the upside, or if it's on the upside, to the downside. So I consider this the resting place. And this line will always change because the calculations change depending upon the time frame that you play in. And I'm just giving you price action, daily price action. So 233.37, 236.66, 238.29, and 239.89. 228.55 to the south side, and 226.92. Don't expect price to go to the moon. If you have realistic expectations about your stock, you're not going to get upset about it, or as upset. Note this gap closed. So we gapped up, which means I anticipate a gap to the downside to fill. And look at this. Boom, we touched, well, we didn't really quite touch. See, look at this. When you make this a little bit bigger, no. So this thing will still come to haunt us to the south side. And that will take us down to 226.41 when it closes. And I don't know if it's going to close tomorrow. I don't think so. This might drag out for a while. All right, and the 1 year price target is 233.36. So there's not a lot of skin in the game if you're just kind of getting in. But long term, $600. That is crazy. All right, something to keep on your radar. Next one is Beyond Meat. I haven't looked at this one or Tattoo Chef in a long time. And trader Monica says this stock is interesting to her, so I thought it would be fun to check it out. So we have this gap up, so I anticipate a gap down. So that's what I see automatically. Smacks me in the face. That's going to take us down to 762 when it closes out. But right now we are at 983. So this down here would be my buy area if I was getting in. The middle of the trend, very close, 10.05. If we go to the north side and the channel is going up, 11.98, 12.01, and 13.85. If we get into this range, people will take their profits and they will leave. So then it will crack to the south side. If it runs up, expect it to come back down for a quick gain, a pop. The 1 year price target on this, well, we've already met it at 7. The next target is at $10. So to the south side, if I didn't say that, I've lost track, 8.18, and that closure here, 7.18, and 6.26. See, look at this fall from grace. This stock tanked on us. Where did the 52-week high is 1925. Obviously, it was higher before that as well. Let's see. When was the last time I looked at this? At $36? Yikes. All right, we're going to have to claw our way back if you're in this. So it's just one trade at a time. And hopefully we'll get to that $10 range sooner rather than later. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at NVDA, Snow, and Beyond Meat. Thanks for watching.